Imagine typing a single sentence into an AI and watching a fully functional 3D video game materialize before your eyes in real time. No cuts, no time lapses, just 32 seconds from a blank screen to a playable Minecraft clone. This is Google's Gemini 3 Flash, and it is putting on a performance that feels less like engineering and more like a magic trick. In a recent live demo, the model streamed HTML, JavaScript, and 3JS boilerplate so fast the presenter couldn't even finish their sentence. By the time you blink, you have a voxel world rendering in WebGL where you can break blocks, place blocks, and explore. To understand how absurd this speed is, we have to look at the competition. If you gave the exact same prompt to Anthropic's Claude Opus 4.5, the current heavyweight champion of reasoning, you would be waiting roughly 5 minutes. Gemini 3 Flash is operating at an order of magnitude faster in wall clock generation time. It creates a playable game before its rivals have even finished thinking about the architecture. But if you look closely at that Minecraft clone, the cracks appear. The movement is slippery. You can clip through solid walls. It is a spectacular, buggy first draft. This demo reveals the core philosophy of Gemini 3 Flash: pure, unadulterated throughput. It is designed to get something on the screen immediately. And this approach has allowed it to break into what analysts call the ideal quadrant. For years, we've had a trade-off. You could pick a model that was smart but slow, or a model that was fast but dumb. There was no middle ground. Gemini 3 Flash is the first dot on the scatter plot to break that rule. It punches into the top right corner where high intelligence meets extreme speed. On paper, the stats look like a cheat code. Artificial analysis reports that on their composite intelligence index, Flash actually edges out the far more expensive Claude Opus 4.5. In coding benchmarks, it trails by a single point. Google's own internal testing shows it beating the Gemini 3 Pro model on verified software engineering tasks. It sounds perfect: near-frontier performance, instant results, and a price tag that undercuts the market. But if the benchmarks are this good, why are senior engineers still hesitant to trust it with their production code? Before we answer that, we have to talk about the economics, because this is where Google is trying to break the market. Gemini 3 Flash costs 50 cents per million input tokens. Compare that to Claude Opus at $5. That is not a typo. Opus output costs over 8 times more than Flash. When you look at performance points per dollar, Flash detonates the chart with an 8.7x edge. For high-volume tasks like log summarization or content drafting, this price point changes the question from "Can we afford AI?" to "Why aren't we using AI everywhere?" But here is the catch: the trapdoor beneath the floorboards. While Gemini 3 Flash is fast, cheap, and smart, it suffers from a critical behavioral flaw. On the artificial analysis hallucination benchmark, the model scored a staggering 91%. Now, this metric doesn't mean it gets 91% of things wrong. It measures how often the model invents an answer when it should simply say, "I don't know." Flash almost never refuses a request. It is the AI equivalent of an overconfident student who guesses on every single test question rather than leaving one blank. This confident fiction is dangerous. In a coding environment, a model that fabricates APIs or invents configuration flags is a liability. It creates bugs that don't look like bugs. They look like plausible code until you try to run them, or worse, until they fail silently in production. While benchmarks reward getting the right answer eventually, they rarely punish a model for lying along the way. Developers report that while Flash is great for prototypes, Opus 4.5 is still the default for complex refactors because it knows its own limits. Opus will tell you when it's unsure. Flash will just keep typing. So, is Gemini 3 Flash useless for serious work? Absolutely not. In fact, its multimodal capabilities turn it into a powerhouse for specific use cases. Because it can process video, audio, and images in the same massive context window, and do it for pennies, it opens up entirely new applications. Imagine an AI esports coach watching a live 1080p gameplay feed and shouting strategic advice in real time. Or a system that watches security camera feeds and summarizes incidents as they happen. The latency is low enough that it feels less like a chatbot and more like a heads-up display. This brings us to the verdict. Gemini 3 Flash is not a drop-in replacement for the top-tier reasoning models if accuracy is your only metric. It is a specialized tool. It is a high-speed engine built for a world where quantity and speed have a quality of their own. If you need to churn through millions of logs, build rapid prototypes, or analyze video feeds on a budget, this is the best tool on the planet right now. However, if you are touching mission-critical infrastructure, legal research, or medical triage, that 91% hallucination score is a stop sign. You are better off paying the premium for a model that knows what it doesn't know. The AI landscape is no longer just a race for the smartest model. It's becoming a market of specialized, distinct tools. Flash is the speedster. Opus is the professor. Choose your teammate wisely.